It's sweat and mud and our roots run deep. Living ain't easy, but it sure is sweet. Make you feel inside what there ain't no words to say. Got the river rolling, gamblers floating, singers singing what the writers wrote. We can't always see the signs, but we find our way down Mississippi Road. Mississippi Road.
Hi, welcome back to Mississippi Roads. I'm your host, Walt Grayson. We're coming to you this week from the Gulf Coast, and we're anchoring ourselves at Mississippi's first and only children's museum, the Lynn Meadows Discovery Center. On this edition of Mississippi Roads, a house in Jackson provides shelter and support for families during life's roughest storms. Rocks are on the rise at a garden in Mendenhall, and a Mississippi musician is drumming up success. Well, the Lynn Meadows Discovery Center breaks all the rules of a traditional museum in that here they actually want you to touch things and to talk and have fun and learn. The exhibits lead to questions, lead to discovery, lead to exploration. And the whole thing is a playground for the mind. The Discovery Center is located in the former Mississippi City Elementary School in Gulfport, which was constructed in 1915 and offers 15,000 square feet of exhibit space. The bottom floor of the museum was completely washed out by Hurricane Katrina. But in June 2006, less than a year later, the museum reopened with all new, refurbished, hands-on displays. The interactive exhibits include an amazing two-story indoor super colossal climbing sculpture simulating the sea. An international travel exhibit, Celebrate the World, We Share Mexico, offering children an introduction to the culture of another country.
All right, I'm gonna go sit down for my meal. Are you guys gonna serve me something yummy?
A history hotel full of the treasures and secrets of Mississippi City in 1898.
Hotel. Can I have a room, please? Okay. Thank you. Do I have any mail?
And a true Mississippi grocery, Winn-Dixie Morning Market, where visitors can shop until their hearts are content. Oh, these exhibits, plus many more, will keep your family entertained for hours. And speaking of families, in our next story, we travel to Jackson to a house that caters to families whose children are going through one of the most traumatic experiences of their lives.
Good afternoon, Tracy Hudson.
A child's stay in the hospital can be the most stressful time in a parent's life. Compound that with no transportation and the hospital being 2 hours away from your home, and you have a parent's worst nightmare. And that's exactly the situation that Jessica was facing.
My kids were premature, and by me not being with them, that would have really hurt me. I really don't know my way around Jackson, so I couldn't just get on a bus and go anywhere, but if this house wasn't here, I don't know what I would do.
The house that Jessica's referencing is the nonprofit Ronald McDonald House, located on the campus of the University of Mississippi Medical Center in Jackson.
Ronald McDonald House serves families from across the state. Our children could be from any medical facility in the Jackson metro area, primarily the Batson Hospital for Children, but we have served all of the hospitals in the metro. If a family is able to donate $8 a night for their stay, we ask them to do that. However, probably about 70% of our families are not able to do that. So again, those individual and community support dollars are a wonderful help.
They have the best place here in Jackson that I've ever seen in my life, and it's hidden. Nobody knows about it other than by word of mouth. And while we were here during the holiday season. We left 2 weeks before Christmas, and people came and brought presents for the kids. They came and brought supplies for the families. If you are financially able, I encourage you to donate to the Ronald McDonald House.
Providing meals for the residents is another way groups and businesses can contribute to the house. Twice a year, Southwest Airline employees drop in to cook out for the residents.
This isn't the time that they want to be here, and we just anything that we can do to help out. It's just a great cause. The Ronald McDonald House is just a great benefit for many families.
The Ronald McDonald House in Jackson opened in 1989. The house is staffed 24 hours a day and has a total of 16 bedrooms.
Each family has their own private room with 2 beds and a private bathroom, but they share common or public areas with other families, like the laundry room. There are 4 kitchens downstairs, so usually the families are assigned a kitchen and share it with someone else. There's a dining room with lots of tables so that there are multiple families that can eat there at one time. There's a TV room and a reading room, and like Dawn said, there's a playroom available. So those areas they share with other families.
We provide not only the lodging and a place for them to rest and maintain a normalcy, but we provide that emotional support that nobody else is able to do right now.
By being here, you see that, maybe your situation's not so bad. There are other families that lose their children while they're here. And we had 2 sweet angels die while we were here. And it was really hard on me, but it also made me see that life's not so bad. I knew that we were eventually going to get to go home. And on bad days, which all of us had, we got to sit around and talk about it.
Even though their situations may be different, they all have a sick child. And that's something that they can really, work and talk about and share. And it's very therapeutic, I think, for other families to have other families to talk to, because a lot of times they're just each other's support system.
But there's so many families that are here so much longer than what we were. We were only here 18 days. There had been families here for 9 months, and they still have bills at home. They still have things going at home that they have to take care of, plus being here and everything else with the hospital. It's just so important to have Ronald McDonald House to help families out who have to be here such a long time. I couldn't imagine.
The Ronald McDonald House serves as a beacon for many on the darkest of nights. But when the sun rises, most are left counting their blessings.
The experience of staying at the Ronald McDonald House was one of the biggest blessings in disguise I've ever had. Not only did they support us by giving us a roof over our head while we were here, but they also gave me the emotional support that I needed. I have met lifelong friends while staying here that we actually keep in contact with and compare what babies are and how they weigh and what they're doing. And it's just, I have truly been blessed by this house, and it has made a lifelong impact on us and our family.
The science room at the Lynn Meadows Discovery Center is a great place to expand your knowledge through hands-on exhibits like operating a pulley, or using a Bernoulli blower to learn how an airplane stays in the air. Young investigators can report the news in the interactive television studio. Take the challenge and walk in another child's shoes in What's It Like to Be Me? An exhibit about understanding differences and disabilities. Or you can board a turn-of-the-century steam engine train, the Outback Express, at the Dolan Avenue Depot. The learning opportunities and creative moments are endless here at the Lynn Meadows Discovery Center, like here in the Artist Studio, where we've got a couple of Possible Picassos in the making over here. And speaking of learning, in our next story, we travel to Mendenhall, where we learn how to raise rocks. Well, it's a rock garden, and I'd suppose you'd do the equivalent of raising rocks in a rock garden. Well, maybe not raising them, but John Daly of Mendenhall sure has planted a bunch of them in his yard. And his rock garden has grown over the years, not by multiplication like a bed of daffodils, but by addition, with John adding rocks all the time.
Well, every time we go on vacation, if we go up and smoke, we get I think are pretty rocks. The way they look, the way they're shaped, what they're made out of. And I do that for my souvenir. And rather than buying material or things made in Japan and China, I just like rather get a rock that I remember it. And I do 90% of them I know where I got them at. And if you go out west where the volcanic rocks are, it fascinates me to look at how that rock would come out as liquid and turn into that. And every time I go out west, I always try to get me a few of them like that. And we went to the Yellowstone up there where just different type rocks. They fascinate me. And if I'm around one, I'm going to do almost steal it if I have to. But I try not to do that. But it's a real souvenir though, the way I look at it. It's a cheap one. I have thought we buy souvenirs occasionally. My grandkids, they'll see Indian boots at a reservation. They got to have Indian boots, or something like that. But to me, I have got an authentic item from that particular place, and in my mind, somewhere it clicks, it tells me where it's from. A lot of my friends will bring them to me, my daughters, my kids, my relatives, my friends. But when I worked at McAlpin's in McGee down there for 11 years, the people would come through, and they knew I collected rocks, and they would go to Israel, bring me back some from the Dead Sea.
Like many hobbies, John started early collecting rocks when he was still just a boy.
Daddy let me out of cotton field, I guess, to do what I wanted to, and I started picking up Indian rocks and different type rocks, and it gets in your blood, and you ever start it, you won't ever leave it alone.
Now, although to you and me, it might look like the rocks John has collected and put out for us to see are just randomly stacked in interesting patterns, but there's sort of a cataloging that goes with it.
Yes, sir. On the big bed I have over there, most of the outside rocks around that are local rocks. And every other rock I have is a vacation trip, and I get about 2 or 3 5-gallon buckets of them. And every time I come back, I add to it. I've been doing that for the last 20, 30 years, and it just don't know what I'm going to do till I get started on it. It just works out the way I want it. I don't care if anybody else likes it, but it fascinates me. Yeah. It fascinates me how they form like they form, and it makes your mind wonder. And it causes you to get your book or two and read it, then it still fascinates you how they're made. You try to figure out where you see rocks, and you read about it, and you're about to try to wonder how they got here. Rocks that I don't believe came out of Mississippi. I believe they came down in ice or something, because they're just different type rocks, where they look.
Now, as far as unusual rocks, well, John has one he and his neighbor found. At first, it just looked unusual, and then they shook it.
It's hollow. It's on the inside hollow. I threw it to him one day, and he threw it back to him, and he wouldn't take it. I took home, cleaned it up, gave it to him, and he threw it to his nephew looking at it, and it rattled. And they came and showed it to me, and I talked to some people, geologists on that. It's hollowed out, and it's got things like ice cream salt, only the gold color and things like that. And it's really like a baby rattler, and it's a rock with a hole. The inside of it does that.
As far as value, well, John Daly's rocks probably wouldn't bring a lot of cash.
No, I don't know. I don't think so. Money won't buy what I got, but I mean, I couldn't get money for it, But some of them are rare, and then some, I do believe some of them are. I don't know where, I've been to the diamond mine up in Arkansas up there. I came through there 3 or 4 years ago, and I got rocks up there, and the lady said they weren't diamond, but they were worth something, so I don't know what they would be worth. But just for money, it takes good money to get some of the rocks I have, and I do have some gems that I've got in different places out in Arizona. But I don't know. I don't think they'd be anything real valuable.
And isn't that the way the really priceless things in life are? Maybe not worth money, but valuable in intangible ways to us.
To me, I wouldn't take a pretty far.
In April of 2009, after a lot of planning and a lot of hard work, a new $3 million Wings Performing Arts and Education Center was opened.
Ready? Here we go.
The Wings program involves young people in programs and productions throughout the year. The program was selected as a recipient of the prestigious Coming Up Taller Award. This award is presented annually to outstanding after-school performing arts programs throughout the U.S. Wings was also recently honored with Mississippi's Governor's Award for Excellence in the Arts. The program features performing ensembles composed of youth from 3rd through the 12th grades. And here they are, rehearsing a few scenes from the most recent production of Grease.
Go, 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 go. Grease lightning, go, grease lightning, go. Grease lightning, go, grease lightning.
Watch it! Hey, I'm Doris Day. I was not brought up that way. Won't come across, even Rock Hudson lost his heart to Doris Day.
Summer lovin' had me a blast.
Summer loving happened so fast.
I met a girl crazy for me.
Then a boy cute as can be.
Summer days drifting away to all the summer nights. Oh well, oh well, oh well. Tell me more, did you get very far?
Tell me more, like did he have a car?
The talented youth who participate in the Wings program commit themselves to the arts and to community service and also to academic excellence. And speaking of talented youth, in our next story, we spotlight the musical flair of a talented father and his gifted son.
I just love to play. I love music, and I will play. It just depends on what the day offers. I think I came out of the womb wanting to play drums. Used to get in trouble, like most kids. Used to beat on my mom's furniture. Probably about 4 or 5 is when I really had the interest in really starting to really play drums. Well, I started taking lessons formally. I was in a band program at Hardy Junior High.
Well, after his experience at Hardy Middle School, Derek's talent really began to show, and he was offered a scholarship to Jackson State University, home of the world-famous Sonic Boom Marching Band.
The things I learned there in terms of character, ethics, musicianship, professionalism, I don't think I could have learned that better at Juilliard.
Well, Derek is an unusual drummer in that he gets his inspiration not from other drummers, but from piano players.
With the piano being a percussion instrument, I could really hear a lot of music and rhythm it's like, I want to play drums like Monk plays piano, or like Bud Powell, or like Oscar Peterson. So that really was my thing.
Well, Derek was only in his 2nd year at Jackson State when a friend of his called him to tell him that rock legend Little Richard was looking for a drummer.
She calls me up and said, well, hey, call this number. It's Little Richard. I'm like, yeah, right, okay. So I call, and he actually answers the phone. I'm 22 years old. Call him up, and he's like, hey, baby, can you play my music? And I said, yes, sir, I can do it. He said, well, I'm gonna give you a ticket, and you're gonna fly out here. This was like Monday. He said, you're gonna fly to LA on the Thursday, we're gonna hang out, and we're gonna check you out. We go to Grady Gaines, old guitar player that used to play with the Upsetters. He has an old kind of hole-in-the-wall spot. So we go in, there's a beat-up drum set, honky-tonk piano out of tune, and the bass player's there, so Richard and Grady start telling stories. And Richard's playing, oh, Grady, remember when we used to play the blues? So they start playing, bass player's playing, like, okay, I play. So I'm acting a fool. Hey, yeah, Rich, this sound like Mississippi. We clowning for like an hour, jamming, we play blues, never play any of his music, just boogie-woogie grooves, whatever. So after about an hour, he stops, well, Grady, okay, I think I gotta go. Okay, baby, you got the gig. We open for the Temptations at Cerrito next week. Let's go get something to eat. And I'm literally like, I look at the bass player like, well, what just happened? And Charles like, hey man, welcome to the band, man. I'm like, what just happened? I said, Richard, we didn't play any of your music. He said, baby, look, I created this. Whoever play, I gotta teach you what I want you to know. You got a good foot and a good backbeat, and you say yes, sir, and no, sir. And you love your mama. I can teach you everything else you need to know. And that was 16 years ago.
Well, since that day, Derek, better known by his nickname D-Mar, has learned quite a bit about the music industry. Now he's taking that knowledge and trying to pass it on to the next generation in what he calls the Up Next Project.
Music education to me is a pet peeve of mine, you know, because the only way I got to be where I am is because somebody taught me. Somebody took the time to share their gift with me. So I got some of the most talented kids I could find in Mississippi, along with myself as a writer. I'm producing the project. I got some country writers, but all Mississippi musicians, artists, and we're putting this record together. It's called Up Next, and my goal is to be able to take these kids into schools to perform, to help inspire other kids, because my end goal, along with the kids getting, is to inspire other kids to want to do music.
One of those students is his youngest son, Michael.
Now that I'm growing up, he gave me this book, and it's a book that, you know, you have a lot of drumming drills in it, and like he gave me this rudiment sheet so that I can practice my rudiments all the time.
It's not a forced thing. And I purposely, for a while, stood away from it because I'm like, well, you know, he wants to be like his dad, so maybe that'll wear off. So let me not. But what I've seen now, even in terms of the way he works and his dedication to it, and I'm like, okay, well, yeah, this may be real.
Well, Michael's musical talent has become so good that it's led to his debut performance with his dad. Oh, by the way, did I mention Michael is only 11 years old?
This Friday is a Michael Jackson tribute. My dad is doing like the older Michael Jackson. I'm doing Jackson 5 and the Jacksons, stuff like that.
Ladies and gentlemen, a tribute to Michael Jackson and the Jackson. Let's bring the stage to almighty D-Mar, 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 D-Mar. Come on, y'all. Put your hands up. Come on. I want everybody now.
But this is like the first time we've done like a real, like a professional performance together.
I'm really excited to be sharing this with him.
Never can say goodbye, no, 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 no. Oh, never can say goodbye, girl.
Well, we asked Derek if you could choose your favorite person to perform with, who would it be?
The gig that I'm really looking to do is Michael Martin's gig. It's to play the Michael Martin World Tour. And it's like, yeah, my dad's my musical director, and you know, that's the gig that I'm looking forward to doing. I told all my kids, like, you know, just whatever you do, be passionate about it. Whatever your passion is, follow your passion. Find something you love and pursue it, and make decisions in life that will allow you to pursue your passion.
When you come to the Lynn Meadows Discovery Center, pack a picnic lunch and enjoy the landscaping out here under the beautiful live oak trees. And the kids will get a kick out of the woodsy cabin and the babbling brook. And then I suppose you can turn them loose for hours as they explore the treehouse village. If you have a question about anything you've seen on the show, contact us at mpbonline.org/television and then click on Mississippi Roads. Till next time, I'm Walt Grayson, and I'll be seeing you on Mississippi Roads.
For a copy of this program, call 601-432-6294 or send a check or money order for $14.95 to Mississippi Public Broadcasting, 3825 Ridgewood Road, Jackson, Mississippi 39211. Please indicate the name and date of the program.